Hello and welcome to a special edition of Uncut. As you can see this week, there's a slight change in my co-hosts, but yeah. So before we do this, let's just go in and just a little bit of a special entrance, and you'll notice a little change afterwards. Then we'll do the little intros afterwards. Here we go.
Not Zero and Bobby, no make no way. It's Zero and Leo bringing the play. Tag team champs of the podcast world. Wrestling stories spinning unfurled. Uncut, unfiltered, no holding back. Throwing chairs, throwing facts, hit a verbal smack. Uncut, unpolished, but sharp as steel. This is the wrestling pod that's keeping it real.
There we go. As you can see, I've crossed out Bobby's logo, added in Leo's, and we've got the Union Jack because this is the British takeover this week for the show. So there you go.
I mean, that was pretty catchy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, well, I've actually got a 2.5 minute long video. I've actually got a 2.5 minute long song of that as well, which I'll send you later on. But yeah, it even mentions about British banter and stuff, but we couldn't really fit it into the intro video. But it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
got that one sorted out. So yeah, so as you can see, so it's me, Zero, as normal this week, and instead this week, because Bobby decided to take some unauthorized leave, I'm joined by my co-host for this week, Leo. So I'll pass you over to Leo quickly, just do a small intro as what he would normally do.
Yes, well, thank you for having me. It was a very last-minute decision due to, as you said, some unauthorized leave, but I'm very happy to be here. Do go subscribe to my channel. And yeah, maybe Bob's breakdowns is a thing of the past soon.
yeah. But like I said, well, it's already got the X for it and stuff, and and the British are taking over this show, so we might as well this week. Well, we might as well get into a few things then. So, first of all, one of the biggest bits of news. This is obviously covering wrestling and the entertainment bit. Is we lost Ozzy Osbourne yesterday.
We did.
And big news, wasn't it? Like big name. Obviously WWE Hall of Famer, rock music icon. Well, yeah. Really.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm massively into heavy metal, so big loss, like in kind of the two big worlds that I'm in, as far as like wrestling and music goes. So, yeah, very sad news.
Yeah, when that came down, I was like, holy shit! It's that's
yeah. I think it broke just as I left to go to work. I was like, oh shit, and like,
well, apparently he went yesterday morning, but they kept it.
But they announced
for a couple of hours to the announcement and stuff. Yeah, so yeah, it was apparently yesterday morning and stuff, and he was surrounded by friends and family. So yeah, which was a good way to go, and at least he got that concert out of the way and stuff.
That's very true.
That's been he got to say his goodbyes and everything, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was that's one of the big bits of news there. Found out something quite interesting this morning as well in relation to wrestling news. WWE have done quite an interesting trademark. It's from back from the WCW days.
Okay.
It's one of the old WCW ones. Let me just hold on.
Yeah, pay-per-view, possibly. Or
it could be. Well, it's for the name Super Brawl, which the last time they used that was during the Super Bowl, if I remember rightly. And that when they done it ages ago during it was like a WCW Super Bowl thing which they done.
Right.
But it's actually been through the US Patent Office. It's been put down for shows and attractions. So I'm guessing it could be either either like one of those special shows that they're going to do, or an
NXT.
Yeah, or like an NXT or something. That would probably make sense because I have noticed most of the WCW pay-per-views have become NXT ones.
Become NXT, yeah.
Yeah, so it could literally be that.
Great American Bash.
Yeah. So so it could be that, couldn't it? Basically. One of the other big bits of news this week is we have some of the other ones. So let's have a look here. Hulk Hogan is reportedly now unable to talk due to trachea damage. So we ain't going to be hearing no brother anytime soon, or whatever it is.
That's very true.
So
it's one of those things where you don't, like, for me anyway, it's like you don't really know how to feel because he is a massive asshole.
Massive
But at the same
racist.
time,
But, you know.
yeah. So it's like, it kind of depends which way this goes. If he ends up being okay, then it's like it kind of gets easily forgotten about. But then if he isn't okay, then it becomes like this whole. He almost turns like a massive baby face.
Yeah. Well, I seen like Jimmy Hart and that saying something, and he's the man that said that even though Hulk can't speak, he's still lying to the doctors, and that basically. So
I mean, it's like, why? You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's still making up stuff and lying to the doctors and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
somehow I don't know how the hell he's managing to do that, but yeah, he's doing something there. But yeah, I seen that bit and I was just like, yeah, you got to. He's just
such a natural, like he's the most heelish like guy in real life that we know in wrestling.
Yeah, he just doesn't care though. That's the problem. He just does not care. And that I don't think anymore. So he got booed out of the building, didn't he, when he last showed up at WE and that, and he literally just laughed it off. He just went, "Oh well, what a shame."
Him and Vince are just like they think they'll live forever.
Well, they've come up together, aren't they? Really, they've been in the business together, so
No,
obviously
I know,
they're in each other's ways, aren't they? Really, so you know.
It's like the delusion of thinking that they'll just never pass.
Yeah, but you know what it's like. It'll happen soon. It'll happen, I expect, at some point. Yeah, well, that's some of the big bits of news. We have got a new title belt as well, which we'll get into in a bit. But we won't get into that one yet. But we have got a new title belt. But first of all, we had at the weekend Slammiversary TNA. Now, luckily, me and Leo were actually saying this just before we came on air. We both watched Slammiversary.
We did.
Yeah. So, well, I watched the pre-show as well, so I've got a couple of bits and pieces extra from the pre-show which came down. You know, and that, but yeah, which we can go into. So we might as well start it off. So pre-show actually had 3 matches on it. Started off with the Elegance brand, which was Ash by Elegance and Heather by Elegance. They defeated the Inspiration, that being Cassie Lee and Jessie McKay, in a tag
other
match.
Fans,
yeah.
So as other fans know them as the Iconics.
Iconic. Yeah, and that was a match for the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championships. They're doing the same as WE, putting the women's tag team championships on the pre-show matches. That's what they used to do.
I mean, they are like the least important belts on TNA, whereas I don't think they're the most unimportant on WWE right now.
Yeah.
But no, I was very surprised. I thought they were going to give the titles to the Inspiration. The Elegance brand have had them for ages at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought, and also like the Iconics are probably more recognizable than the Elegance brand. But no, yeah, I was very surprised. I don't know whether they might do some rematches and kind of make a feud of it.
Yeah, well, they went for each other backstage, didn't they? The Iconics went for Elegance later on in the show.
They're going to do some kind of 6-person tag at some point.
Yeah.
Because obviously the Elegance brand is 3 women, and so they were going to find a partner for, I assume, on Thursday. Yeah,
I'm guessing so. Yeah. Right, and then we had a surprise match where Eric Young came out, and he got he called out all the fans and stuff, and he was saying that the fans, he was basically just being the typical heel. You know, he was just saying how all the fans sucked and everything, and he could literally defeat anyone at all from that town. And he even told a fan as well to jump the guardrail and come and face him in the ring at one point. Until the hometown man's music hit. Well, until the hometown man's music hit. Obviously, we all know that's Cody Deaner, but
it's Chad Gable.
It's Chad Gable. Yeah, it's definitely Chad Gable. You know, I'm surprised that El Grande Americano hasn't showed up yet in TNA. You know, I'm very surprised.
Well, it's time. He'll do the rounds of AAA and TNA and all that other stuff.
Yeah. Well, obviously they're sending Omos to a thingy, and he's probably going to end up in a mask. So. You know,
well, you got to remember that El Grande Americano is the greatest luchador in Lucha Libre history.
Yeah.
So he will go around everywhere.
Yeah. We'll see him. Yeah, Mexico. He'll go all around the world, won't he, basically? Yeah. But yeah, so the hometown man defeated Eric Young in 4 minutes, it was. That lasted 4 minutes. And that was a roll-up.
I don't really get what they're doing with Eric Young, because I thought he was a face because he was annoyed at the fact that Henry lost the title. So I thought he was trying to save TNA. and then he's been treated like a heel, and he's acting like a heel. So I didn't really get where they were going with it. But then, Eric Young's been there for so long that I don't really know what they can do to kind of reimagine him again.
Yeah, because of course, he's. I think they're just literally just using him just for really anything at the moment, aren't they? They're just like, he's a what you would call safe hands. You can basically just send him out there to do anything really.
He's a bit like, I don't know. I mean, it's not the best comparison, but it's a bit like having R-Truth, where like he's been around for so long that like just having on TV is just enough.
Yeah, and like I said, you can literally just go, okay, go out and go and do this, and it'll be, and it's done basically. And then the last little bit on the pre-show was we had Steve Macklin, Jake Something, and Mance Warner with Stephanie Delander at ringside with them in a 6-man tag facing off against Real One, that being Enzo Amore, Zilla Fatu, and Josh Bishop. The annoying thing about this was Enzo Amore took about 10 minutes to do a speaking entrance. He done his.
I mean, but it is Enzo Amore.
Yeah, it is Enzo. Yeah, that was the only annoying thing about it was basically like you could even tell the fans were going, just hurry up and just get the match started. But he was out on the ramp for like 10 minutes, just going, oh yeah, it's the why are we going here?
Well, that's the thing, that when he can't do the whole soft stuff that he was doing in WWE, it'll be hard to get like everyone on side for these kind of long promos that he used to do in like 2015.
Yeah, well, he done the soft bit at the end and that, but he came out and he was like, "Oh, why don't we got here? A couple of guys and stuff like that, basically." And he done that one, and then he ended it with, "You guys are just you guys are something," and I'm going to spell it out for you. That he obviously done the SAWFT soft, and that basically the whole crowd popped for that, and obviously joined in with that. But Zilla had a good showing.
I mean, you got to assume that WWE kind of went, kind of make this guy look good because we have some connections with him.
But no, but they even said on commentary, they actually named all of the bloodline. They went, this guy Zilla, he's got a very good bloodline in the other, in our partnership with WWE. He goes, big shout out to Joe, Joshua and stuff. So they actually called them by their real names as well for it.
Which
I found out, which I found pretty cool. He then said like Jacob and stuff like that as well, and mentioned all of them. He's like I said, they had a good showing and stuff, and it ended up with Real One getting the pin. I can't remember who he pinned. Could have been Steve. I think it was Steve Macklin who he might have pinned.
Which is surprising, considering he's the international champion out of everyone in the match.
Yeah, but I would have thought, to give a good showing, I would have thought they might have had Zilla do the pin, but obviously no, it was Enzo. He probably demanded it, did he? Not knowing him, but they're being advertised as that new wrestling company, 4 Squared or something, or I don't know what it's called. But
I'm surprised that I know it's like a different company and all that with TNA, but I'm surprised they let Enzo on after like the whole thing at Survivor Series when he like showed up in the crowd and was being a bit of a knob. That WWE would go, oh well, we kind of don't want this guy on our associated product. Yeah,
but it's ratings at the end of the day, isn't it? It's ratings and talking points.
And it was the pre-show, so it wasn't like the main part, I guess.
I mean, it was free on YouTube. The pre-show was, so I mean, you're not really gonna have like people really complaining there. And then Slammiversary officially opened, where we had Mustafa Ali versus Cedric Alexander. A couple of points in that bit where Tasha Steelz actually took a longbar check off Cedric. That was
and sold it like a champ.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she sold that like an absolute. I was shocked when that happened, though. I did not see that coming.
But the TNA do intergender stuff, so I mean, they probably won't do very much longer. But
no, but I mean, but they are at the moment, and so Mustafa Ali won that one. To me, that was a pretty good match. I don't know what did you think about it all?
You could tell they can. I know, I know. You said that like two people haven't lost their chemistry in a while, but like I think I want to say it's one of the first times they've met since WrestleMania 34 when they opened the show.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was great. The synergy was really good between them both. And yeah, everything was just really seamless between them.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a really good match. I enjoyed that match, especially to open up with, because normally on pay-per-views like that, normally they don't open with such a good match. You normally have like a little like throwaway match, which you just want to get done and out of the way, really. But it was
Well,
good.
yeah,
It was a good
I
opener.
expected the A-man tag that followed this to open.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but I thought it was a great way to open, and like it kind of set a standard for the kind of quality of wrestling of the night.
Yeah,
in my opinion,
Yeah.
anyway.
It was a good night. Yeah, it was a good night of wrestling. Yeah, and then you just mentioned it anyway. So then we move into the 8-man tag then, which was Matt Cardona and the System versus Dark State. Yeah, it was good. I'm quite surprised that they never had a Shotzi show up midway through, because have you been seeing what she's been doing on the
the
indies at
feud
the
with Matt
moment?
Cardona, yeah.
Yeah, where she's been just coming through and just low blowing him randomly in the middle of matches and stuff, and now hitting him with a chair or something, for the
Yes,
whole
it
indie
was.
god name.
Yeah, well, they had the match. I think it was July 11th. I think Shotzi got the win on that one. But I
Yeah.
don't know. Again, It was weird, like as a as a match, because the System have been heels like the whole time they've been a group.
Yeah.
And then they suddenly switched them to babyface because they were feuding with Dark State.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it.
But
But
then Moose was the heel in his match later on in the night.
yeah.
So like the dynamic was a bit off, in my opinion.
Well,
Um,
I read something before, and now I don't know how true this was, and I can't remember who posted it, but apparently they were saying that leading up to the show a couple of hours before, NXT were completely NXT and TNA completely rewriting the show just to like put over TNA a bit more. And they were
okay.
basically changing up a couple of the storylines. Now I don't know what. Obviously, there was something that came down actually, which we can get into, an interesting storyline which I was reading about. I think I was telling you last night actually about this.
No, about JBL.
About something that was meant to happen, but
Yeah.
yeah, we'll get into that when it comes to the main event bit. But yeah, no, it's I'm quite surprised that they did change around. If that's true that they changed it around, because they were saying they were putting over TNA. They were meant to be putting over TNA, but then two NXT champions walked out with their titles. So
yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's probably why. To be fair, they were. Oh, we've got these two big wins, so let's give the TNA the other wins for against the NXT people.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's probably working. Yeah, yeah, and then we move in then to Indy Hartwell versus Tessa Blanchard. Indy picked up the victory there, and then obviously then led to Tessa going mental after the match and attacking Gia Miller. You were saying something, weren't you? Like, it's not like that Gia's basically not like a trained wrestler and stuff, and she's like been doing indie work. And
well, I don't know whether she's like a fully trained wrestler, but she's definitely doing stuff on the indies where she's more of a manager or something, and like she's a heel as well. Like I've seen it on I don't know which company it is off the top of my head, but she has this whole faction behind her, and it involves like I don't even remember Alan Angels. He was in Impact for a bit, but was also part of the Dark Order in AEW. It involves Jessica Havoc, who was in Impact and TNA for a while. So like it's not as if like she isn't getting involved in stuff like this all the time anyway.
No. So.
But we're supposed to like put this to the back of our head that she was traumatized by the experience. She put out a tweet and an Instagram saying how she's okay and she's, probably they'll go through like the traumatized storyline. But I don't know. I get it because like I suppose you're not supposed to acknowledge other companies if they're not connected. But yeah, I just found it a bit funny. Like it felt a bit dramatic.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously then it led to Tessa Blanchard being suspended. Now I don't know where they're going to go with this one. It's probably going to go the same route as like the whole Jordan Grace thing, where she's going to get banned from arenas and stuff, and she's going to keep coming in and sneaking up and attacking people. And
I mean,
I don't know.
I'm very surprised that they didn't make Tessa like the knockout champion by now, just to take advantage of the heat that she's got.
Yeah,
because that for me would make a lot of sense, like business wise. So get like a big heel who's getting big reactions. But I don't know whether they're keeping her off TV to then, because JC is currently a heel, that they kind of do the whole babyface wins it off her, which I assume will probably be Indy Hartwell, to be fair. I don't know if it'll be straight away, but I feel like Indy's in the best position right now to be the one to take the title from JC, the Knockouts title from JC, I mean. And then Tessa be the one to beat Indy.
Yeah.
But again, that's more fantasy booking than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, it could go down that route. I mean, that's a very good that is very good fantasy booking, and I could see TNA doing something like that, really. But we'll see. The next pay-per-view's in October now, isn't it? Because Bound for Glory. So I mean,
I think the next pay-per-view is Bound for Glory, but they'll do TNA plus specials probably between now and then.
Yeah, but no, if anything, if they're going to do that thing, like what you said, I can either see JC walking into Bound for Glory still as champ, and then they have Indy face her then, or they obviously do Indy versus whoever then, if she does win the title at Bound for Glory.
Well,
but
I assume, I mean, it's not the same, but when they did the invasion for WWE and WCW, or the Alliance, obviously they did the whole invasion pay-per-view where like belts were changed and the Alliance got the win over Team WWE. But then at Survivor Series, when it all came to a head, WWE got the win everywhere. So I assume Bound for Glory is when everything resets.
Probably, yeah.
So it's when Trick and JC lose their titles, and maybe if they actually do a TNA guy winning an NXT belt, they reset that back again.
Yeah,
and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you never know, because Santino Morello might be winning that North Canadian Championship. Let's just call it for the minute. North Canadian Championship.
The thought of that happening is crazy.
Then take it that way. But yeah, we'll get into that one. So talk about JC Jane anyway. That's the next match. So we now move into JC Jane versus Masha Slamovich in a winner-take-all match for the TNA Knockouts Championship and the NXT Women's Championship, in which JC Jane defeated Masha Slamovich. I was shocked. I thought Masha was having that. I thought that was Masha's.
I honestly did as well.
Personally. But no, it's I'm shocked. Shocked.
Yeah, I mean, it's the case of JC continues to shock the wrestling world.
Yeah.
Where we all wrote her off just for the NXT Women's Championship, and now she's like the first person to hold both. But also, the match was really good as well, I thought, anyway. I would argue it was JC's best match to date. And I don't know. I think this whole thing, for me personally, is actually making JC more likable, because she's doing all this and she's proving everybody wrong. And though she's a heel, it has kind of got that bit of a babyface feel to it, because everyone's writing her off.
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing which I can see, well, obviously we know where it's going to lead to, with obviously Fatal Influence splitting up and that, and then because they were teasing it obviously on NXT as well. So, I mean, that's where it's obviously going to lead to, is then JC getting too big for her boots and stuff, and then the other two sort of doing that way. Now, I had an interesting theory, is, you know, where like next week on NXT they've got Fallon and Jasmine going up against the other two. What if they say have, for example, Fallon and Jasmine take the two belts off JC? So Fallon takes maybe the NXT one or something, and
I think that would be fine. But then Jasmine's in, like, Fallon, I can kind of see she's been the North American champion.
Yeah.
But Jasmine has barely wrestled over the last few months. Yeah. And she like disappeared off TV for a while. So I feel like Jasmine hasn't been put in the best position as far as, I mean, I would probably do something where it seems like they're going to go like through a three-way split, but then Jasmine calls the double bluff and actually stays with JC, and they just turn on Fallon.
It could be.
I feel like Jasmine needs JC or just someone around her, unlike Fallon Henley.
Yeah, because I mean, like what you said, Fallon's been North American champion, so she can. Yep. She can do it by herself, really. But I mean, it could lead to many ways, can it? You know, like what you said, Indy could be the one to take the title off of thingy, couldn't they, and stuff? And because didn't they used to have a feud as well when they were when Indy was still in NXT? Her and JC.
I think.
Were they ever?
I think I'm not sure actually, unless it was the toxic attraction stuff they had. with Mandy.
Yeah.
But I also think that Indy could feud for the Knockouts title because she has her connections with NXT, so they can have her appear on the show.
Yeah,
Because she was one of the people that, like, it felt like she was like an NXT for lifer.
Yeah. I mean, that could work, couldn't it? So yeah, that works. Moving on then. So we then had Leon Slater versus Moose for the TNA X Division Championship, in which Leon Slater defeated Moose and is the new X Division champion. I found it quite weird that Moose was originally X Division champion anyway, because isn't that meant to be like the Cruiserweight Championship, really? And that Moose definitely ain't Cruiserweight.
No, it's not. The point of the X Division title is that it's the mid card title, because they have like a slogan where it's like, it's not about weight limits, it's about no limits. Because I think Samoa Joe was like one of the first X Division champions.
Well, wasn't AJ Styles as well? I thought, because that was the whole thing.
Yeah, so AJ Styles was the first, but Samoa Joe has held that title many times.
Okay.
So it's like, it's just their mid card title essentially.
Fair enough. Yeah. Well, yeah. So Leon Slater defeated Moose. They had a bit at the end where Moose put the title around Leon's waist, and then seemingly he turned back face again after that match. And then we all got ready to fly as AJ Styles came out at the end of that. And
I mean, he massively put Leon Slater over.
Yeah.
Like,
what? Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Well, there was quite an interesting thing as well about AJ, which I read. This was from Fightful, I think it came down, where apparently AJ's plans changed again. This was part of the rewrites. Was there was originally a segment where he was meant to be in the ring with Frankie Kazarian, and they were meant to be talking about like who was the best, who's the most well-known TNA star and stuff like that. But that got scrapped, because the reason why they didn't want to do that is they didn't want it to be seeming that AJ was teasing a match on TNA, which he might not have ever been able to do for it, basically.
Anyway.
Yeah. So which he still did, because he turned around and mentioned about maybe one more match, but apparently the whole point of it was that the reason behind it was they thought that if he came out and basically like had a whole thing with Frankie Kazarian, that everyone would be like, we need this match, we need to see AJ in there, and they didn't want the fans to get their hopes up for something that might never happen, basically. So I mean,
true.
It's a shame.
I mean,
it's a shame.
I suppose if Styles wasn't challenging for a championship next weekend, and he kind of wasn't doing much, like he hasn't been recently, you could maybe say, oh, well, Bound for Glory is only a couple months away. You could build to something there.
Yeah.
But then this case of, will they want the possible Intercontinental Champion being on TNA and having a match and maybe risk getting injured and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I feel like with this whole partnership with WWE and TNA, you've got to have some kind of AJ Styles match on TNA television.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It kind of depends where WWE land on it, I guess.
Or the only other way is basically they bring Frankie over to WWE. They have Frankie show up on WWE to go up against AJ or something like that. To like,
it makes sense, especially as kind of an AEW original as well. Maybe they can kind of, I don't want to say tease it, but like they could just mention it slightly, like they do every so often.
Yeah. So and they could obviously like sort of just like kind of, I don't know. They could then do it over all the brands. Well, they could do it over the brands, couldn't they? Then whichever one Styles is on, so it'd be Raw. So have Frankie Kazarian randomly show up at Raw or something, just to call out AJ, and then like, sort of then do it that way, really. And then they can then continue it on TNA and stuff. And like what you said, even if they do end up doing something about Bound for Glory or another one of these TV specials, and just sort of do it that way. Well, TNA Plus.
Well, Bound for Glory seems to be setting up to be some kind of pensioner fest. So
which that one's well, that leads us quite nicely into the next match anyway. So 4-way ladder match for the TNA World Tag Team Championships, where you had the Hardys versus the Nemeths versus the Rascals versus First Class. and we have new TNA Tag Team Champions, which is the Hardys. That didn't surprise me, considering that's possibly the last time that they're going to hold the Tag Team
Yeah,
Championships and stuff.
I tried to go a bit different. I backed First Class to get the win. Instead, First Class went out there to absolutely kill each other.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Especially when Francis done that leap off the ladder. Christ alive! When he did that,
the landing was awful. Like his legs went straight through the rungs, and it just looked terrible. He did the moonsault, which was pretty good.
Yeah, but no, I was like, this is bad. This is bad. Why?
Oh yeah, I was fully expecting he's injured. He's out for like as long as he possibly can be.
I'm surprised they lasted that match and nobody got hurt. But then at the end of it, Bully Ray showed up and set a challenge for the Hardys for Bound for Glory one final time with Devon for it and that. And but that's the thing is Devon's come on.
I was gonna say, so we're getting the Dudleys and the Hardys one more time.
Yeah,
in 2025,
time, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, did they say what type of match it's going to be? Because I know they teased about tables and stuff. So I'm guessing.
I was going to say you would think that they would make it a tables match.
Yeah, but then they could do a TLC match because that's what they're famous for, isn't it? Really, if you think about it, that's what the Hardys and the
True, but then they'd have to.
Famous for.
I think the alternative for TNA is Full Metal Mayhem because they won't be able to call it TLC.
No.
So they might do that. And I don't know whether they'll still be champions. It'll be for the championships as well.
Yeah, that'd be quite.
You would assume so.
Yeah, but like Devon tweeted out this morning anyway, as well after the challenge, and he turned around and said that he's confirmed he's definitely going to be a Bound for Glory because there was that whole thing of is Devon actually going to show up because he wasn't actually at Slammiversary. So he's turned around and said, yes, he's doing that. He's fine health-wise, so all of the previous health scares that he's had are perfectly fine. Yeah. They've passed and everything. And he is currently with DDP doing a load of DDP yoga, ready to train up for the match and everything. So, yeah.
Well, it's not as if they're going to have him wrestling every week on Impact, is it? We know that it's just going to be, they'll show up to some promos and then they'll just do the match.
Yeah. So it'd be fine. I can see it going on. It will be very historic to see that again between those two tag teams and stuff. Even if it is the last
it's just going to be a load. It's just going to be a load of fun in it. That's what it's for, really. It's not going to be a wrestling classic from these two, is it?
No, you're going to have a lot of spot fests and stuff. Like you're going to end up having like what they're going to do, the Twist of Fate. You're going to have Matt doing his bloody whole thing of like the delete thing, and you're going to have a couple of 3Ds and stuff. I expect, and obviously Bully's going to try and get the tables a few times and stuff just to just pop the crowd basically.
Well, as I said, it's just going to be a bit of fun, bit of a nostalgia fest.
Yeah. So that's how it's going to be. So that's leading into that one for Bound for Glory, which I will be watching. We'll definitely be watching that. We might even be doing something else as well at the time, but we'll get into that one at another time. And then we had the main event, which was the three-way match for the TNA World Championship. That was Trick Williams, Joe Hendry, and Mike Santana. In which Trick Williams walked out still as TNA champion. I was shocked.
He stole it.
I thought Santana had that.
I said I fully backed Santana for this one.
Even when I was like on Uncut last time, that I was saying, I got to support my boy Joe Hendry and stuff. I think we all knew that it was going to be, Mike Santana or whatever, basically. But it's it's getting there.
So I was at work while watching Slammiversary. So I saw the part where Trick seemed to be injured and we thought he was going to get carried out. And I typed into the group chat and I didn't send it. Just like, this is the way we protect Trick, but also get a new champion. And then someone started talking to me. So I didn't send it and started talking back to them. And then before I knew it, Trick had stolen the win. And I was like, just quickly delete this message because clearly that's not the case.
No, but I was quite I was very shocked at that. Very shocked that obviously the Trick walked out with the title. But no, it was very very, very shocking really for it. But no, it's what can I put down? Yeah, that was the other thing. Yeah, what I said that I was going to talk about was JBL. So JBL Turman said that he had quite a interesting role originally, which is what he was doing on the Indies. All that stuff he was doing on the Indies, basically, was meant to be leading to him walking out to the ring with Mike Santana. That's what it was meant to be, which is very weird. I don't know why he would align himself with somebody like Mike Santana.
Yeah.
But and he so he was going to walk himself out with Mike Santana, and he was actually going to help him somehow win. But he turned around and said those plans were from somebody who's no longer in the company. They had basically plans that. So I don't know who would have wrote that one down, but yeah, it was a producer or something like that, or one of the like senior people who wanted him to like do that. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know who that would have been. Maybe Gail Kim or whatever, or I don't know.
I don't, because Gail Kim hasn't been part for months now.
No, we don't know how long those plans were scrapped because he turned around and only
that's
just
true.
it. I mean, we don't know when they, because he was meant to be doing it and stuff, and he turned around and said it kind of upset him a little bit because he had been training and everything because he was meant to be getting physical, and that's what he had been training and stuff for everything, and it was just like kind of he turned around and said it quite upset him when they obviously scrapped it and stuff for it. So
yeah, it is a bit of a bizarre one. I mean, like I assume the connection with JBL is New York, but then you should kind of look at like just on like I don't know, like the characteristics alone of Santana and JBL are very different.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have got it. I wouldn't have got it.
Absolutely would have been, unless they did a build to it where they made it make sense. But that just read like just on paper, it just doesn't add up at all.
That's probably why they scrapped it. If that was the case, like it was probably one of those weird ideas that somebody had, that somebody had brought up and stuff, and was like, oh yeah, why don't we have JBL come out with Mike Santana and stuff, and we'll try and make it make sense, and then they just couldn't make it make sense.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, when I think of JBL in TNA, it's when he was helping Nick Nemeth retain against Joe Hendry.
Yeah.
So, like, if they were to say, "Oh, he was going to come out during the tag match and try and help the Nemeths," then fair enough, that would have made perfect sense, and I wouldn't have had an issue. But to say like with the connection with Santana, it just doesn't add up.
No, not at all. But no, yeah. So Trick Williams is still the TNA champion. So NXT currently holds all the top belts in TNA. TNA have their tag team championships in their mid card title. That's it basically. Yep. But they might be getting another title soon if Santino Marella gets his way, basically. Yeah. But yeah, we can quickly go in and review that in a bit. Let's have a look then. So we might as well quickly review for once, seeing as obviously I've got Leo on this week. We might as well go through Raw and everything, Raw and NXT, because normally by now, like Bobby's buddy still going on about stuff and talking about those random shit and and stuff, and yeah, we're still sort of going for the pay-per-views. But yeah, so Raw opened up this week with CM Punk and Gunther in a segment. I didn't catch the full thing, but there was quite a lot of like, how can I put it? Quite a lot of back and forth really for it. Did you catch it? Was.
I mean, to be honest, it was a kind of an average, like back and forth. Like, so they didn't really get into it. Gunther says that he believes he's the best in the world because he's a heel and has confidence.
Yeah.
Whereas Punk bases he's the best in the world because of the fans, which technically isn't true because Punk is arguably one of the best to ever do it. But yeah, as I said, it was fine. It was what I took from it was we're finally getting Gunther as world champion against main event talent.
Yeah,
like nothing against Jey Uso and the whole main event Jey Uso thing, but when Gunther first became champion, I was expecting like matches with Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and like all that echelon of talent, and which we didn't really get from his first run. So I'm glad that we're finally getting to that point now.
Yeah. I mean, do you see Punk taking the title off Gunther at SummerSlam?
I don't know. Like
Like,
it is. I think it's one of the harder ones to predict because,
yeah,
in theory, Punk should be putting over Gunther, but
yeah,
then to not make Punk a world champion in this last run would be
yeah.
silly.
Yeah, the problem is though, is and this is the only thing that I could sort of agree with Bobby on most of the time is Punk
It's the
is
Seth Rollins
brittle.
thing, isn't it?
No,
Yeah.
Punk's brittle. That's the problem. Like, it's risky putting a title on someone like CM Punk because
Yeah,
he could get injured walking down to the ramp, walking down the ramp. He's done it
true.
before, so
Yeah,
and that they can't really put like stocks in it where maybe like they turn around and promote like maybe he wins the title at SummerSlam, for example, and then come Survivor Series he's injured and that or whatever, or come Clash in Paris he's injured or whatever. It's not.
I mean,
I don't know.
I think the only saving grace for that is that he did War Games and he was fine,
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, you might
and
be.
like he's been fine pretty much all year, which is good.
Yeah,
But at the same time, you have to believe that this is where Rollins would have come in, where they can give Punk that win, but then
yeah,
it's pull the Rollins trigger if something were to happen to Punk.
yeah, and so they can do
So
that. I mean, this is the thing: is if it is a work, the whole Seth Rollins injury, then it would make perfect sense for Punk to win, then Rollins cash in on Punk to
yeah,
continue that feud. Really,
if Punk wins, it's a case of waiting until it fades to black.
yeah, and yeah. Like, is Seth's music going to hit, and is it like a massive
Yeah.
work? Where they've worked.
I mean,
All
it's fair,
of
his
things,
music doesn't need to hit. It's just like as long as Punk isn't attacked at any point after the match and he just celebrates the championship win. Because I assume it's going to be night one main event. So
possibly.
I mean, you have to
Possibly,
believe so, surely.
Yeah, but it's Roman and Jay's got that tag match, haven't they?
Oh, true.
This
But
is
it's a
Roman
tag
at the end.
match. That could kick off a night two.
Yeah, I mean, the only problem is obviously it's Roman in it, so it's
I
like
know, but
that's the problem. We obviously know it's going to be Cody and Cena night 2 main event. That's granted.
yeah.
That's guaranteed. But yeah, it's very difficult to say what's going to be night one and stuff like night one main and stuff at the moment. Because like I said,
Yeah.
to me it would make more sense for Gunther and Punk because it's the other world title. But then again, they could also open with that. They can open with that, or again, they can open night 2 with that. Because it's.
I don't know. I feel bad for
it's
Gunther though,
Roman.
who's challenging for the world title and then defending the world title. No, he's defending in both, wasn't he? He's like coming to the two big events of the year, defending champion and starting the show twice.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be difficult to say. We'll obviously find out next week, really, what the opening segment and stuff like that is. So yeah, but yeah, and then we move into Sheamus versus Rusev, reigniting that rivalry. That was a good match. I enjoyed that match.
It was just two guys beating the crap out of each other, wasn't it?
Yeah, which was good. Yeah, and obviously Sheamus got the win. Yeah, it's a good feud. I think those two work well together.
Absolutely.
I appreciate a good Sheamus and Rusev match.
I would assume that their third match will be some kind of last man standing match.
Probably.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Where they can beat the crap out of each other and no one has to take a pin.
Yeah. That could be that could probably be another match that they add to SummerSlam. They can announce that next Monday, for example. Add it to SummerSlam just to get it up to 5 matches each night or whatever. Because I think at the moment we've got what, 8 or 9? I think at the moment 8 or 9 on SummerSlam. Yeah. They're either going to do 5 or 6 matches each night, so we're either going to get another 2 or another 4, roughly.
Yeah.
For matches, I don't know which ones we're going to get, but we'll get something. Then we had a triple threat tag team match with the LWO defeating New Day and American Made, and obviously the best lucha in the world showed up during this, being El Grande Americano and distracted New Day. That's how LWO won. I'm quite surprised. I would have thought that would have led to American Made win, but
yeah, it's a weird one where the person doing the running actually ended up losing. No, well, he didn't cost them the match, but with the runnings, you expect then the team. Do you know what I mean? Where the team that got help from the running would win, and then they didn't.
Yeah, but then again, it's WE. They're trying to swerve everyone, aren't they? At the moment, to be
fair, the biggest swerve for me was the fact that we had a triple threat tag match where 3 people started in the ring.
Yeah,
instead of 2.
Yeah, because normally is where you can just tag anyone in, isn't it? Really. So I
Yeah,
mean, it's
which doesn't
stupid.
make any sense at all.
It's stupid, yeah. But no, but they're so the LWO are now new #1 contenders for the World Tag Team Championships.
And they have their match
Which
next week because they were never going to put it on SummerSlam.
no, they never do. Not the tag belts or anything like that. That's just a throwaway match just for them to get
Yep.
put on TV. And then we had a Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria segment where it will now be basically a no disqualification match, a match at SummerSlam where there's got to be a winner, no countouts, basically
No
no rules,
disqualifications.
basically
Yeah.
no disqualifications. Yeah,
For me,
be a winner.
as long as the finish to the match is not a roll up, I will be happy.
Yeah, because we know it's leading to that, but yeah, it's probably going to be that. But yeah, it's it's going to be a good match.
the matches they've had this year have been great. I can't imagine why this wouldn't be with no disqualification added to it. I can't imagine Bailey will get involved. It would make a lot of sense to do that, but it feels like we've kind of moved on from Bailey being involved in this, and that this will be like the final match of this feud.
Yeah,
and I'd love for Lyra to get the win here and put the title on the younger.
Yeah,
but
because
I'm really not sure.
Because I noticed the stipulation as well, wasn't it? Is that if Becky wins, Lyra can never challenge again. That was the whole thing. So that basically says that Lyra's winning. So
for me,
Lyra's winning.
If Lyra loses here,
then
she goes up to the main event.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, then she can then challenge
that
for the
should be the natural progression of that.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure whether they will do that. That's the only thing.
No, probably not. No. We're talking about Lyra anyway as well. She it was her and Bailey then next versus Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez, in which Roxanne and Raquel retains their championships. Obviously, you commented during this match, didn't you? Because Raquel hit a national hero there, being
I can't believe she put a boot in the face of Dominic.
Yeah. So Dominic is a national hero.
It's disgraceful.
I mean, it's the thing is though, is obviously that's ruined his tash now, so that's now ruined his chances to get in with another woman as well and having that in, because it's got to be that. It's got to be the tash. It's got to be the tash and the mullet, hasn't
it? You say that, but the segment I believe they had during the break, Roxanne spoke for Dominic. Which, Dominic is already spoken for.
Yeah, so... but he's got a new woman again now, and this is Dominic. He gets around. He's
honestly,
he's a lot of women.
I would have loved to have seen him at Evolution. He just comes out during the tag match, and all the women just stop.
Yeah, they will just stop stare at him. He just swoons at him, and they just swoon at him and stuff or whatever. Or,
I thought that would have been hilarious. Like if they were gonna have one man on Evolution, have it be Dominic.
The best thing as well that I was thinking that they could have done was have him come out at the start of the battle royale and stuff, and he's just there just picking.
Yeah,
he's just there just looking at everyone and picking and stuff.
Just have him come round, walk around the ring, and walk back, and just have all the women just stop and stare.
Yeah,
just hilarious.
Just to see which woman's going to be next. But like I said, it's got to be the mullet and the tash. It's got to be. That's obviously what's getting all this, because what is it? Rhea, Liv, Tiffany, Roxanne now, so it's it's got to be that. It's got to be that. There we go. So that's what it is. Got to get a mullet and a tash now for anyone out there who wants to be like Dominic Mysterio, basically. So get growing some hair, Leo. Get growing a mullet and a tash. Yeah, that's right. And then we move on to Karrion Kross defeated Sami Zayn. It was a pretty average match.
My biggest pop of the night.
Yeah.
My boy Karrion Kross got a win on Raw.
Yeah. Now
happier.
It's a good job Bobby's not on this show, because you know what he's like with the whole Karrion Kross thing, and that he would have wound you up with that one. But
I know.
No,
but
it was good.
No, I've been a fan of Karrion Kross since he was in TNA.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, when he was Killer Kross, wasn't it? So
yes.
When he was in there. And then because of an earlier segment as well, we then had Stephanie Verker defeated Io Sky via disqualification. Because of course they took and said, let's do it tonight instead of let's do a teaser tonight instead of a Clash of Paris.
I was buzzing when they said they were going to do that on the same night.
Yeah.
But I also knew that it wasn't going to be a clean finish, which is really annoying.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, is I'm surprised that, well, sort of surprised, sort of not, that the title wasn't on the line. I would have thought they might have
Which
put the
title?
title on the line. No, not a title.
The title opportunity.
Yeah, title opportunity. That's it. Yeah, title opportunity on the line, basically, to like try and do it that way. Really, I would
I
have
don't know, because
thought.
it feels like
Definitely.
you mean talk about adding matches to SummerSlam. I assume we're getting some kind of Vicar and Nikki Bella, maybe even a third person, maybe, in which I assume will be Brie, against Chelsea in the Secret Service.
Yeah, I mean, well, CJ kept saying this on Maget as well, is that it's probably going to be Brie, Nikki, and Stephanie, versus them three. However, though, looking at the teams from Raw, it could be that EO teams up with them. If Brie's not doing
That's a
it,
good point. Yeah,
then it could be
I
Stephanie,
mean,
EO, and
the only
Nikki.
reason I can think of that Brie hasn't showed up is because of the last place within wrestling she showed up,
Yeah,
which was
which was
AEW.
Yeah, that could be that. Yeah, I mean, Brie has to. When I said though, she is in New York for SummerSlam weekend. She's doing
I
something
know,
in New
but
York and stuff. So
like the thing is, saying that a big name is in New York is very like I can imagine most
yeah,
people are going to be in New York SummerSlam weekend.
probably yeah. Well, yeah, well, it's New Jersey, is it? But yeah,
Well,
it's
sorry, New
close to
Jersey, yeah.
stuff. Yeah, I mean, yeah, so that's that. Yeah, and obviously Rhea came out during that match. Chelsea Green and the Secret Service came out as well. It's
Yeah,
that in
I
it
mean,
really.
I assume we're going to eventually get Vicar versus EO on pay per view, and that's when we'll have the proper
Probably.
match with the proper finish,
Yeah.
which leads me to believe that maybe Stephanie gets the title at Paris. But then maybe my bias with hating Naomi is why I think that.
Yeah. The only thing from that one is though is obviously I keep saying this as well to people is after Paris it's Perth. Now are they really going to have it that Rhea doesn't walk into Perth as champion? That's going to be the thing, isn't
I
it?
mean,
That's
honestly, I do think so. I think maybe she'll just challenge and we do Stephanie versus Rhea in Perth.
yeah, yeah. I
Um,
mean, it could be that, could it? Yeah. No,
I mean, you could
it
make Grayson Waller United States champion going
could do.
into
Yeah,
Crown Jewel
yeah. They
or
probably will
Intercontinental
do,
champion.
but you know
They
what it's like. They
won't.
no, they probably won't.
He won't get
Um,
on the show, I don't believe.
Probably not. No, well, he's part of New Day now, isn't he? Or he wants to be part of New
He's
Day.
not part
So
of the new. He wants to be part of the New Day.
he wants to be part of New Day, but yeah, he wants to be the new Big E. Yeah, and then Raw closed with a Paul Heyman, Bron Breakker, Bronson Reed, and Roman Reigns segment where that was actually pretty good. That was pretty good and stuff like.
I mean, it was your average like Paul Heyman, who's great on the mic, Roman Reigns, who's great on the mic.
Yeah.
Bron Breakker got involved, and Roman just kind of mocked him.
Yeah, just like, who are you? Just
pretty much.
Just like, who the hell are you?
And then they had a brawl at the end, which was fully expected, and Jay made the save, which again fully expected. So it kind of went like as we thought it would.
Yeah.
Very surprised that they showed Roman challenging them on NXT though.
Yeah, but then Jay's responded back anyway as well. Jay's turned around and said he's up for it. So yeah, he's turned around and said like.
I mean, I'd be very shocked if Jay went, you know what? No, I'm not feeling it. I'm going to miss this one out. Go ask Jimmy. He might do it.
Yeah, he might do. Yeah, but no, it's like, but no, the video was like, oh yeah, Roman Reigns, my tribal chief. I'll be happy to team up with you again and stuff. My family where we take on Bron and Bron and stuff. The Bronze. And that's so Jay's in for that one. So we've obviously got a tag match. That's obviously changed your plans because I do believe it was meant to be Roman Seth at SummerSlam, and then it was probably going to be the Usos versus Braun and Bronson
They really
Reed.
need to put the Usos back together, and not because of the lack of stuff Jay has done since losing the title. Because the tag division needs the Usos.
Yeah. So
it's the
mean,
same way as the Lucha Bros. They need to put them together as well, just to help the tag division.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, and that because what we've got at the moment, we've got New Day,
New Day,
LWO.
War Raiders, LWO, Creed, and obviously the Judgment Day.
That's it, really, isn't it? On Raw, so
On Raw is especially bad.
yeah, they do need those extra names and stuff like that for it. So
Yes.
yeah, but no, we'll quickly go through NXT because of course some big things came up on there. So NXT opened up with the culling defeat. Well, it was an 8-person mixed tag match, which was the culling, which had they defeated Soruka, Zarya, Hank and Tank. I'm quite
It was a fine match.
yeah.
Very, very run of the mill for an 8-person tag, especially when the women and men are kind of tagging in but not tagging, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But no, they finished having Tatum get the pin. I thought it was decent. It wasn't quite what I was expecting. The fact they had, but the only thing that didn't make sense here was Dark State.
Yeah.
And it was never explained either. Like normally they'll do like some kind of backstage promo.
Yeah.
But unless they're targeting the tag team titles, which then that would make perfect sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was just no explanation, which isn't the best. I know WWE are very good at doing something and then not explaining it straight away. But yeah, to just have Dark State suddenly appear and then Tatum obviously cheat to get the win.
Yeah.
But yeah, would have liked an explanation with that one.
Yeah, it would have made more sense, but no, that was like what you said, Jay, it was a pretty good match. Then we had JC Jane with Fatal Influence in the in-ring segment where Lash Legend and Jada Parker came out. Lash and Jada brawl with Fatal Influence at the end of it. So that's
big pop for Jada.
Big pop for Jada, yeah. Which doesn't surprise me. We then had Jasper Troy defeat Ricky Saints via countout after Ricky fell through the stage.
Which we missed.
Yeah, which we missed. Yeah, like it was quite that surprised me, really. That they had him
I mean it's a massive win for Jasper Troy.
Yeah, it was just a shame that they had done it via countout. Like they could have. I understand that obviously we missed
because they didn't want either man to get pinned, but they booked themselves into a corner.
Yeah, so I can share the stage capture. Also, as well, they never fixed the staging. They never fixed the ramp. Like,
no.
I mean, they can fix those announcers' desks within 5 minutes looking at it in between segments, but they can't seem to just put a ramp back together, which probably even but especially seeing as the next person down was the Undertaker, I'm surprised he didn't fall down that stage.
Can you imagine he came down on his bike and just fucking
that would have been
straight through the hole?
That would have been horrendous. but yeah, so no, we had then the Undertaker and Trick Williams segment where Taker dropped Trick Williams with a chokeslam at the end.
Made him famous.
Taker got some height on it though. Taker got some height.
Trick sold it like a champ. He was stumbling backstage when we saw him.
Yeah, but no. When he did that chokeslam, I was like, Taker got that boy up. Trick went flying, but no, it's he's made him famous. That's the nod. That's the nod to Trick now. Trick's gonna be doing quite well now in his career, considering he's had that big of thingy. I mean, look at Bron Breakker after he had that whole thing with
It was Heyman and Taker and
So I mean, he's done quite well there. Anything you want to bring up on that segment, really?
No, I think Trick held his own well against the Undertaker. You kind of knew he was set for death when he interrupted him. But everything here worked really well. It seemed really random at the time, but coming just after Slammiversary, before we start setting up for what I assume will be Javon versus Trick at Heatwave. I think everything worked here really well, and I'm glad they kind of showed that bit at the end with Javon Evans and the Undertaker.
Where they turned around and said go for the big one, isn't it? So it's either though. The thing is though, was that hinting at Javon going for Oba, or was it him going for Trick? That's the thing, isn't it? Like,
I mean, I would not be against them having a rematch of Stand and Deliver, where they do a triple threat.
Yeah, they could do.
Because that match was great from that weekend.
I mean, you know what they'll probably end up doing is they'll put both belts on the line. So then somebody will walk out as NXT champion and TNA champion, if anything.
I'm surprised the lack of Oba we've had in the TNA stuff. Like, I know he faced Moose, but that feels like a fair time ago. I think it was before WrestleMania.
Yeah, considering he's obviously like the world champion, I'm very surprised that he's not been on TNA a few times. Unless they want to like make it so that he doesn't go to TNA.
Do they? Yeah, they send Trick instead of Oba.
Yeah, yeah. So then they've still then got a big name permanently connected to NXT, and then they've then got a big name sort of then floating between the two of them.
Yeah,
I mean
true.
that could make sense. Yeah, and then we then had Blake Monroe's NXT singles debut, where she defeated Ren Sinclair. That was given that she was going to do that. That
it was an extended squash, really, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I'm not sure how I felt about giving her Ren, especially like they did the whole hometown thing.
Yeah,
like I probably would have given Ren her own match and then had honestly someone from Evolve just lose to Blake Monroe.
Yeah,
it was a very interesting way to go, but maybe they just didn't have the time and they had more stuff. So that would be my guess.
No, yeah, and then Jordan Grace obviously came out, and she got planted onto a chair with a DDT by Blake Monroe. So.
I mean, imagine threatening someone for all night trying to get into the building, and then you end up being the one that gets dropped.
Yeah, well, did you see the video after? Did you see the video of how she got into it?
She got into
the arena.
Yeah, she got into. I don't know what you call it.
It's a production crate in it or whatever, and a production crate with the cables and stuff like that in it, and just hid in there and got rolled in. But yeah, it was stupid. Oh, they? Okay.
1 second. I can't hear you. Let me go grab my other headphones because they have died.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah, I'll just carry on talking then for the minute. So, yeah, it was quite weird that they had obviously gone ahead and done the whole. Like what Leo just said, Jordan Grace getting planted with a DDT onto a chair after spending all night trying to do it, and the whole hometown, that Grace wasn't going to be kept out of the arena in her hometown, and that, as she stated, it was quite strange, very strange there, but it works. It works. Can you hear me now?
I'm back. I can hear you again.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and then we move on then to the Ethan Page segment, which. The Ethan Page segment where he introduces a new championship belt. The North American Championship is now the Canadian Championship. Whatever it's called.
And then you would have thought some up-and-comer would have interrupted him and challenged for this new championship.
But no,
you would be very wrong.
Santino Marella, next week on NXT, Santino versus Ethan for the championship. I mean, that could literally be the way which they're going to get the title back onto get a title back to TNA is have
can you
Santino have that one,
introducing a new belt design and then losing it to Santino Marella immediately.
I mean, it would make sense because TNA is a Canadian company. They're based. They had
Team Canada back in the day.
And I mean, like I said, the ones that run them, what are they called? God. I can't remember who runs TNA now. Anthem. Anthem's actually Canadian. They're based in Canada, so it would make sense to obviously do it as like the Canadian Championship because then Canadian company, Canadian Championship. Perfect sense. Sure. Perfect sense to me. So they could have Santino Marella doing it, and that would make the internet burn as well. The internet would literally melt down if Santino Marella won a championship in 2025.
True. But what makes the most sense is what you said last night, which was that Santino is booked for the match, but actually someone else comes in and takes his place. Yeah,
and like I said, I've nicked Nemeth in that, but they do it as Dolph Ziggler because obviously, like when they had Fandango when they had JDC come over and they had him. They were introducing him as Fandango and stuff. They could bring Nick back in as Dolph just for the one night or something.
I don't think they did. I think they announced him as JDC, but they hit his Fandango theme.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, one of the things.
Because Elijah was still Elijah when he came in.
Oh, yeah, wasn't it? Yeah, that was it. Yeah. I mean, they could bring in Nick Nemeth. They could bring in Eric Young because, of course, he's Canadian. Yeah. It would need to be somebody who's typically Canadian, basically.
The thing is, I looked through the roster, like when you were saying about this stuff.
Yeah.
And the only really person who is Canadian is Eric Young. Like everyone else kind of isn't.
I mean, that could give him something to do. Get him to come on in and challenge Ethan. Get him to face Ethan Page for it.
Oh, maybe, but then I wouldn't expect. I mean, you don't lose to the hometown man on a pay-per-view and then beat Ethan Page.
Yeah, that'd be the thing. They could bring in the hometown man and he could claim he's from Canada. And so they could do that because, of course, he lives everywhere. Apparently,
I can see him definitely doing that.
Yeah, because they could. Like what we said, because he does live everywhere. Apparently, everywhere is his hometown. So yeah, they could do that. But no, we'll have a look, see what happens next week. If Santino Morella walks out as champion next week, then yeah, that's gonna be hilarious. It's gonna be
They
hilarious.
definitely will be.
Yeah. But yeah, and then we then move in then to the main event in which Obafemi defeated Inamura and Josh Briggs in a triple threat match for the NXT Championship. That was an average match to me. It was like
Yeah, it wasn't as good as I was
standard.
expecting. I don't know if you remember, I think it was last year's Stand and Deliver. We had
Yeah.
Ober, Briggs, and Dijak, and they absolutely stole the show. I
Yeah.
thought, oh, well, we got 2/3 of that match, so it should be great. And it was fine. It wasn't as good as I feel like it could have been. I
Yeah.
think the concentration on Briggs and Inamura was just a bit too much. Ober somehow felt like the third wheel, even though he's the champion going in.
Yeah. I mean, what I found as well was that match seemed a bit rushed because I think they might have overran on something. Because what did they have, like 10 minutes or something like that?
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, because we said, didn't we? We were like, we're not sure what they're fitting in here, but we
Yeah.
know we got something with Santino. We knew we had, I believe it was the Blake Monroe match, and we had the triple threat, and there was only like 50 minutes left.
And we still had the Ethan Page segment as well, because that Ethan
Yeah.
Page segment went about 20 minutes. Well, it was about 15-20 minutes in the end for that
Yeah.
one. So I mean, so that's they kind of I think they cut some bits and pieces there. Something must have overran. I don't know what would have overran. Maybe the Undertaker segment or whatever, or that. But
maybe it was Jasper and Saints with the whole stage thing.
Might have been, yeah. Well, they had to sort of change things around and stuff. But
Yeah.
but no, it did feel rushed. That final
I agree.
main event did feel rushed. Like I said, 10 minutes for that. It wasn't good. Wasn't great. They could have given them a little bit longer, but no. So that was this week in wrestling. I will say that next week is going to be a slight change up again because this show next week. Well, next week this show will be a special show again. 4-man booth next week with the quiz for Uncut, and we are moving to the Thursday next week to do this one live as well.
Yes,
which is going to
because
be
people
quite,
are working. Just me.
Yeah, but so it'll be Thursday next week, 5 p.m. EST. That's 10 p.m. UK time. On the
Us
Thursday.
Brits are making the sacrifice here. We're accommodating the Americans.
Well, straight after as well, we've got the EVP Zero show. Straight after as well for SummerSlam predictions. So yes, we've got that one straight afterwards as well, really. But so we've got 2 shows back to back. Don't forget to tune on in next week to them. They'll both be on the Thursday. You'll also be catching me on CJ's channel on the Wednesday, where I believe, if I remember rightly, he's got 7 of us on.
Yes, I heard about this.
On Wednesday. Yeah. We've got 7 people on that one. So for SummerSlam predictions.
I'm very curious to see how he controls 7 people, or 6 other people.
Well, I know who else is going on there, and it's going to be very difficult to control a lot of us, especially with who's going to be on that show. So yeah,
very interesting.
It's going to be fun. So catch me next week there on the Wednesday, and then all of us on the Thursday. You got anything coming up? Any videos or anything that you want to promote?
Many videos. I upload every other day.
Yes, you
so
do,
today I uploaded my favorite AEW wrestlers. It's just me kind of going through a list of who I like and stuff in AEW. But there's also a load of SummerSlam stuff. I've done a list of the best match from every SummerSlam of the past 25 years. Yeah. And I'm also doing a review of SummerSlam 2005, as well as predictions and reviews coming up as well.
And obviously on the 27th as well, you've got your El Grande video coming out.
Yes, I've thought up with this fantastic idea about who El Grande Americano could be, or maybe should be, but it's such a ridiculous idea that it'll never happen. But it's a bit of fun. You should definitely go check that out.
Yeah. So that's fine. Well, thank you for this week, Leo. Last minute plans and stuff where we obviously planned the show out, but it was British Takeover this week, as we like to call it. Unfortunately, Bobby is back next week. For anyone out there who obviously enjoyed this show a lot more better than the.
Do let us know on Twitter. You can tag us both and just let us both know.
Yeah. Do let us know. Yeah, do let us both know for that one. And I will make sure that I show Bobby all the tweets if anyone does. Obviously, just put that one out there. And all the comments on YouTube. So don't forget to do that one. Thank you for tuning in, guys, and we will see you next week. This is Zero signing out. See you later.
See you later.